Hello, and welcome to The Pond, the strange corner of YouTube, where we do reviews, deep dives, analyze Disney villains, and highlight cows. I take it that's the fight? Oh, I was not expecting that. And we are continuing on our marathon of Thanksgiving movies to recommend on Thanksgiving. And we are going into another Coen Brothers movie. I can't help it. I love the Coen Brothers, and this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm not saying it's my top 50, but it's in my top 75.
Whoa, didn't see that coming.
And that is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? This is the story. This is Homer's Odyssey. Ulysses going on a quest to find his family, but it's being told through the American Great Depression era. So you're going to see sirens and the Cyclops and various characters that seem mythological, but yet we're also going to meet the mobster Babyface as he's robbing banks, and Robert Johnson, the blues legend of America that is really the seed of rock and roll. No, really. This man invented the song Sweet Home Chicago. And he invented the note alignment that is blues, but if you speed it up, that is how people learn how to play the electric guitar. He aligned them in that way. That is not very talked that much about.
Hot damn, son, I believe you did sell your soul to the devil.
But this movie says we will do that. You're going to exist alongside the Odyssey. Pretty amazing, right? And this is the Coen Brothers. These are directors who are fans of writing and casting characters. And this time, they're using George Clooney as Ulysses Everett McGill.
Well, Pete, I figured it should be the one with the capacity for abstract thought.
As he is breaking the chain gang to get back to his treasure. Some money oh, dang it. But I forgot the phrase. It's very old-timey. Because, again, this is American Depression era. But it's money that he stole, and he decided to bury it in his old family cabin. But thing is, there's a time limit. The dam's being built. Pretty soon, that land and that treasure is going to be buried under a lake. So they need to get their rears in gear. And it's him, along with his chainmate, Delmar, lovable and adorable, and with a heart that is golden as starlight.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
And Pete, the man that is so simple and yet so cynical, you can't help but go, how come you're not in a museum? You're such a contradiction. I'm amazed. What are you doing today?
And may God have mercy on your soul.
These three are going through this quest. And through this, they'll be meeting Cyclopses and Sirens and meeting those historical figures, but also dealing with the dark side of America, because this movie is not afraid to highlight what America was doing at that time, and it's based in the South. So they are willing to go harsh, but they know to bring the light. And through these cast of characters, they did it again. Like in Raising Arizona, one of my favorite characters is a guy that's not really part of the main cast, but I love him because how much of a character he is.
Mr. Arizona, which tot was abducted?
Mason Jr., I think.
They do that here, and that is with the governor. There's a governor's race going on, and it's a side story arc that these two will eventually cross once in a while. And that governor just steals my heart. It's like he has a way through my funny bone that just makes me giggle. I mean, look at this guy. Look at his colors. And then add on the fact that he's a southern governor and he has that gruff, no-sense attitude.
Reform me, you soft-headed sumbitch. How are you going to run reform when we're the damn incumbent? Is that the best idea you boys can come up with? Reform? Shake a leg, Junior. Thank God your mammy died giving birth. Should have seen you, should have died of shame.
We can't do that, Daddy. We might offend our constituency.
We ain't got a constituency. Stokes got a constituency. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker.
But I can't help it, that character just steals my heart. I'm a fan of a Southern accent, I'm not gonna lie. But a Southern accent with a Southern character, and they have the intimidation factor of a fat, round man that just steals my heart with those bib overalls that go this high. And he has that hat and the glasses. Oh my gosh, I can't help it. This is character writing and act casting done too perfectly.
Just making a point, you stupid son of a bitch.
I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And speaking of loving it, I can't help it, people. I'm too happy. This movie has probably one of the best soundtracks of its time. But of its time, I mean the time it's based in. It has that Depression era type folksy banjo bluegrass sound to it. This movie isn't a musical. It's not. But it should be. Coen Brothers, by some miracle you're watching us right now, please take your script, your playwriting of this, and translate it into being a Broadway musical. This movie is meant to be that. You have the music. You can talk to those artists, rearrange some deal. I want this to be done. Heck, the Newt joins me in this regard.
It would be great.
It would be beautiful. And you guys have the talent. You know what you're doing. You know how to present. And this is one of the best presentations of the Odyssey. It's just a better twist. And that music is that good. Actually, it's so good that the album, when it was released, it swept the Grammys. It was winning awards. And when you're done with this video, go through YouTube and look up the presentation of the album, where you get to see all the musicians from the movie soundtrack singing in different spots of the stage. They use it, and they make the camera work. It is good. And wow, you're going to be amazed at some of those voices and some of those characters. It is good, people. And as much as I'm gushing over this, and I just love it to death, I know this may throw some people off. They're going, I don't get it. I'm not connecting. I can understand. But it is a fun movie, and it's also very cultured in its way. From reintroducing the Great Depression and that era of what the American culture was like, to also, now son, there's this Homer's Odyssey, and Ulysses had to travel across all of Greece, trying to get back to his wife now. And now you gotta listen, he had to fight Cyclopses, deal with sirens, and how to deal with a whole trouble full of monsters now, you hear? And this is gonna be a long tale, but we're gonna have some fun with it.
English, sugar?
That's what this movie is. Where would I rate it? Because after all, this is a movie review. On a scale from 1 out of 7, it's a 6 out of 7. I know it's no, well, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, but it has that charming characters that just keep it all the way through, and that album just pushes you along so much. It's almost to a 7, but almost, it's just good enough in this regard. And I highly recommend this movie and its soundtrack. I really like it, I do. And until our next dish, this is the Bullfrog and the Newt signing out.
Gobble, gobble.
What'd the devil give you for your soul, Tommy?
Well, he taught me to play this here guitar real good.
Oh, son, for that you traded your everlasting soul?
Well, I wouldn't use me.